8:18 on this Sunday morning, which for many areas is starting out partly cloudy and I think noticeably cooler as compared to yesterday when we were already in the 80s. So nice start to the day on our way to what should be an active afternoon of thunderstorms. Well, here's the stage. We're going to set it up for you. Water vapor imagery does a really good job of picking up the monsoon flow. Now, that shows up in the milky white. It's kind of this plume that stretches out across the state. So that alone will fire up some thunderstorms as it did yesterday. Additionally today, because we had a little cold front move in late yesterday and last night, we're going to have some low-level moisture represented by the darker greens in place over eastern Colorado. So with the moisture overhead associated with the monsoon and this low-level stuff behind that cold front, there's going to be a lot of water around today, and that's going to give us a better chance for some real heavy rain with any stronger cells that develop, and maybe even some severe weather. Here's a look from North Gate and Bass Pro. We're looking to the north and west over the Western Museum of Mining and Industry up towards Mount Herman and Monument. You see some clouds in the background. There are actually some weak showers already developing in Park County. It's only 73 degrees, so that probably feels pretty nice after what's been going on the last couple of mornings. And we're at 75 on the south end of the Springs, too. This at Highway 115 and Turkey Creek looking south at a partly cloudy sky. There's no wind of note really yet, but it'll pick up some this afternoon, generally from the east. So most of eastern Colorado comfortably in the 70s, higher terrain, 50s and 60s until you get way up high. Leadville right now only at 48 degrees. Skycast shows the first showers developing pretty early in the day today. Notice by noon we're already starting to get quite a bit of activity over primarily mountain areas. Then as we move into the afternoon, these things will start to spread east. And notice some pretty bright colors here, yellows, oranges. This map looks a lot more colorful than it did when we showed it yesterday for the afternoon hours. And it's picking up on what I mentioned about the water in the air. These storms will have the capacity to produce some heavy rain and maybe even some severe weather with hail to about an inch in diameter or some strong wind gusts around 60 miles an hour, the primary threats. Noticeably cooler, as I mentioned, 80s and 90s on the plains, 70s and 80s up high. So we'll be down maybe about 8 to 10 degrees over yesterday's values. Puts us real close to seasonal averages. So low to mid 90s is going to feel a lot nicer across the Arkansas River as compared to, say, the triple-digit heat we've had recently. I think down here the best chance for heavier rain will occur over the mountain areas, but we certainly couldn't rule out some decent storms along the river as well. Pikes Peak region looks like another area where localized heavy rain is a pretty good bet, and if one of those cells should drift over one of the local burn scars, then yeah, we could have some potential for some flash flooding, and maybe even with the right cells over the city, some urban flooding as well, and so we'll be tracking that through the afternoon. Highs in the 80s for the Springs, probably 70s in Teller County. We should cool off a bit more quickly today with the storms getting underway a little bit earlier. They'll then continue to track off to the east tonight, and a pretty large area of thunderstorms should drench some of you out across the plains. Expect frequent lightning. Some of that could be pretty intense, so that's another thing to consider as you're out and about this afternoon and evening. Get ready to move indoors as the sky darkens. And then overnight tonight, eventually this stuff will wind down, but we could have a few showers around even after midnight. Tomorrow looks like a quieter day on the thunderstorm front. Now that doesn't mean we won't have a few around, but I think we'll kind of backtrack to what was going on yesterday with storms that will generally be a little bit weaker and probably a little bit more spotty. We'll keep that going for Tuesday as well. Wednesday right now looks like a mostly dry day. High temperatures could creep up close to 90 again as a result of that. But then another front looks to come in towards the end of the week, so that'll take our temperatures down, and then Friday, kind of like today, sticks out as a day that might be capable of bringing some pretty heavy rain to some areas. So we'll watch that closely through the week. That should be relatively short-lived. And then as we go into next weekend, we'll probably start to thin out the moisture again. Pueblo will shoot for a chance for rain today. Could be pretty decent. Keep you in the 90s for much of the week. Overnight lows in the 60s. Glad to not be showing you 100-degree temperatures now. Again, Friday sticks out as another day that might catch you with some pretty good rain. Canyon City, upper 80s to lower 90s, should cover it for most of the next 7 days. Overnight lows in the 60s. Today, good chance for rain. After that, it gets a little spottier. Now, mountain communities, 70s for highs, 50s for lows. On more days, I think the storms will be capable of soaking you pretty good. I kind of mentioned everybody's got a shot today and maybe Friday. But the mountains are going to start doing a little bit better, I think, than some of us on the plains starting tomorrow. So we'll still have to keep an eye on those folks up high and see how it goes up there.
All right, absolutely. Thanks so much, Marty.
You're welcome.